Okay, welcome to my recording of my solar house project for AP Environmental Science. Here is a overhead view of the house with all of the directions labeled so that for future reference you'll be able to see which sides we're looking from. So I'm going to just go around and explain all of the techniques, the passive techniques that I used in the design of this house and how they work and the materials. So to begin with the materials, the cardboard here represents the poured concrete because this will absorb the heat energy and will do a good job of insulating the home and keeping it warm during the colder months. Obviously, these places that have window panes represent glass for the windows, and same thing with this, which I'll get to explaining what this is later, but just assume for now that this is glass. On the roof here, and as you can see on these overhangs, which again I'll explain later, I have tin foil, which represents just a tin reflective covering on top of these surfaces, which is for cooling purposes, as I'll get to in more depth in a moment. But those are the materials generally represented in this house. So I'll begin by explaining the passive heating techniques that I used when I designed it. So as you can see, this is the south side of the home. So obviously this is where a good portion of the sun is going to be coming in. This is where the most important passive heating has to happen. So on the southern side of the house, I have created a sun space to absorb and collect heat through all of that glass there. And then obviously that heat can be let into the home if needed. And then again, we have these large windows here, which will obviously also collect all of the sun coming in on the south side of the home. So that's the heat collection method. Now I'll get into the cooling a little bit. So obviously I mentioned before that I have this these reflective awnings here, and again reflective on the roof. I actually did some research and learned about cool roofs, they're called, that have the reflective material on them to keep the light bouncing off of the home instead of absorbing into it. So I just chose to do that on the roof, but also on these awnings here, which are retractable. So as you can see, I can't fully demonstrate it here, but just to give you the idea, here's the awning down, and then if I lift it up, then the light can come in. So the assumption is that in the winter months, you would want the awning to be up so that lots of light can get in on the south side and allow the heating to occur, and that in the summer months, you would want it down to block that extra light from entering the south side. I have the same awning going on here on the west side of the house because my research told me that awnings on the west and south side of the house can do a really good job of blocking solar heat from entering in the hotter months. And then the other cooling method that I have is these windows on the opposite sides of the home on both the west and the east sides here. So they can be opened up to allow for airflow through the house when wind comes, so that can do have a lot of cooling function as well. So there is the heating and cooling temperature control passive techniques, but now I will explain the lighting. It's fairly simple. Obviously, there are windows on all of the sides of the house, and here obviously is a very large skylight in the middle of the house. The interior design would likely be really simple, but that's okay. Because, that's just how it would have to be with this type of a design, but this is the large skylight to let in lots of light. And since I haven't gotten there yet, I'll just show you the north side of the house. I just have another large window here. Again, it's opposite from the window on the south side, so that if a breeze comes by, we can open up both of the windows on the opposite sides and allow the breeze to flow through the house rather than just getting trapped inside of it. And then I also chose to put the door on this side. This wouldn't likely be concrete, even though it is made of cardboard as well. It would probably be made of wood. And I did place the door on the north side simply because I felt that that was the best place that was left after having put all the windows and sun spaces and awnings everywhere else that worked for me. So that is my solar house in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that all of my methods were sound. Thank you.